Alright, we in the building, man. Another episode in the Zone podcast. I don't know what episode on action.
I don't know either.
You know,
it might be crazy. Look it up. It might be 24.
I think you're right there. The last time was like 21, 22.
Yeah, it really might be 24.
Yeah, we're a little deep in. Nah, you know, Jay Bricks. I know Santos, man. I know Hold On. Really big.
I mean, it's at this point, I gotta cut it down. I'm gonna start naming myself from a man that's looking for his better half. That's what I'm gonna start calling myself.
Yeah. Not doing this today. Yeah.
I gotta do it because I know I'm gonna cry later on. So I gotta just laugh now.
Oh man, but this episode we're gonna talk about the heavyweight bout that took place on Saturday, Wilder versus Fury.
I don't know if it was about.
Yeah, we.
I'll start it off
Go
because
ahead.
I don't even know who's watching this, but whoever is watching it, we have a faithful like 5 or 6.
Yeah, facts.
So I appreciate you.
My pops be watching too. You do?
Oh, word?
My pops be watching.
Like actual pops?
My dad, yeah.
Oh, nah, 'cause I know you call. I'm like,
nah, two. I don't know two.
Yeah, it's like you got, okay, that means it's your pops. I know I have my best friend Melrose, and then I have my, probably, I think Lamar, more than likely. I
think so.
And then I got my older brother, Akil. But he the nigga that be fucking us up, because he like posted on Facebook before we
put the video and shit.
Like he'll post the anchor link. I'm like,
that's cool though.
Nigga, like but soon as it posts, I think he be getting notifications like, shout out to you, Akil, but as soon as it posts, like later on that day, he'll like tag me in the anchor link. I'm like,
I fuck with it. Hey, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate your support. Shout out to all y'all, man. Shout out to all y'all. And I know your best friend, your homie. I know she doing my side and shit, so respect to you.
She definitely do. I don't know why.
Respect to you.
Apparently, I'm the bad guy of the podcast.
Hey, man, the shoe fit.
Don't fit.
I hear you.
If you know me, you know I don't. How would I put it? I have the utmost respect for Deontay Wilder as a man, especially as a black man.
Salute to Black History Month.
The utmost respect for him, but everybody always asks why don't I like Wilder, and it was simple. If you know me and you know who I like in boxing, all the boxers I like could box with their eyes closed. Like, not fight, but could box with their eyes closed. Like, my favorite fighter now is Lomachenko. He's probably the best boxer. He's probably the best boxer of his generation. Like, I like Manny Pacquiao. My favorite boxer of all time is Roy Jones Jr. And we all know what he get into. So like,
I ain't like Roy Jones, but that's the difference.
But you know he was different. It's just nigga. Once Tarver touched that chin, niggas never the same. That's besides the point. But
Troy was Tarver?
Yeah, Jordan Tarver.
What was James Tony?
Jordan Tarver was the one that knocked him out. Like, he lost the belt. And then that was like, oh shit, and he whooped his ass the second time.
He lost to Tony too, didn't
he? Yeah, he lost a couple of fights.
He lost like a 5 or 6.
Yo, in a row after that Tarver fight, but
yeah, his mental was off.
But as Teddy Atlas said on Saturday, Deontay he can't fight. He just has the ultimate eraser.
That's where I disagree.
No, I mean,
I disagree. I get what you're saying.
You know when I said he can't fight, he can't box.
That's what,
he can't box.
And I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum because everybody knows, like, I'm Bronze Bomber, Bomb Squad. That's my guy. I trolled him a little bit over the weekend, but everybody that's what I do.
It was in good fun.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But shout out to you. I hope you get well though. You know?
Nah, facts. It's like, first of all, salute. I seen people hating. Salute to the intro.
Facts. Salute to the queen bro. Too.
Yeah, facts. Salute to the intro. D Smoke. If you watch Rhythm and Flow, I'm a fan of D Smoke. Fire the whole song of Black Power, Black Bro. You know, that's my shit. Salute to that. Way too much
Salute to his queen. Don't let that go, bro.
Yeah, nah, salute to his queen.
There's a whole lot of niggas.
You know, I know how that go.
Like me.
I'm in the other room, you know.
It's a whole lot of niggas like me looking for one like that.
Go ahead, bro.
Well, nah.
That's what I tell the people.
I'm saying, she was right there on her side, driving along with the ice.
It was something they said that really stuck out to me when we started watching the fight. And me and Lamar was talking about it. The difference in demeanors before the fight. First, let me preference before I go into this, because it's going to seem like I'm giving excuses. Whatever the case may be, before he and Dave know this, and I said this numerous times. I'm a fan of Wilder. I'm a fan because I naturally like brawlers. So I was a fan of De La Hoya. I was a fan of I'm a fan of Manny Pac. Like, I was a fan of Mike Tyson. I was a fan of Holyfield. They could. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to. So I naturally like brawlers. Wilder is a brawler, but I've always said the first fight with Ortiz exposed Wilder, and I said if you get somebody that can box, that can make him box, he's beatable. And I said it as a Wilder fan. Wilder's my favorite boxer. As a Wilder fan, I said that. For you fans that don't really understand the game, you know, is Wilder the best? To me, he was the best heavyweight. Even though he couldn't box, he was just that overpowering. Where it was like, I felt like you could beat just about anybody because. But I also know like he can be outboxed. That's why I said I wanted to preface his statements by saying when he say he can't fight, he can fight. He just can't box that good.
Yeah, that's not.
And in reality, bro, like people saying, "Oh, Wilder got exposed." Wilder was exposed against Ortiz. That's why I don't agree with that. He was exposed against Ortiz, and if we really think about that fight, Ortiz was winning until Wilder knocked him out.
Yeah.
Wilder knocked him out. We already knew Wilder. From that fight, we knew Wilder had the heart of a champion, but he would have lost that fight. A lot of people say if it wasn't for the couple of knockdowns he had against Fury, they wouldn't even have tied last time.
I still don't think it was a tie, honestly.
A lot of people say Fury won the last fight. So it was like, this was a trend going on, but we're giving Fury too much credit. The blueprint was set by Ortiz. Yeah. It was set. Anybody who understands boxing for real understands that's where the blueprint was set. Where I'm kind of iffy about it was they talked about before the fight, his demeanor. Fury was laughing, chilling. Wilder wouldn't stay off his feet.
He was OD calm, Fury.
Yeah, he was OD calm. It was confidence. Wilder, to me, weirdly, he's usually intense, but it just felt different on Saturday. His disposition before the fight.
I didn't watch. I didn't
get there.
Came late.
So before the fight, he was just pacing in the locker room. Yeah. He literally wouldn't sit down. He was constantly on his legs. Mm-hmm. And the announcer mentioned something about that. And I thought it was kind of weird. Like, he was doing that in the locker room. It was only on the second fight on the undercard.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, I don't know what it was. And then watching the fight, from the beginning of the fight, he never really had his feet under him.
Never had his legs.
He never had his feet. So I was just like,
I don't know if it was the ring or the shoes. But
it had to be. I think it was
slipping too much.
The entire, I think it was the shoes. Mm-hmm. It had to be. I can't blame the ring. Mm-hmm. I think it was the shoes. I think the fact that he usually fights at about 212 to 220 is usually where his normal range at, and the fact that he was fighting at 231, he wasn't used to the way he was at. And then he was fatigued after the second round.
People were saying that like it's not a. From his last fight with Ortiz, he was like 220.
Yeah, he was 220.
But his last fight from Fury, he gained probably like 15 pounds. I think his last fight with Fury, he was like 212, 215.
Yeah, he was like 212 because he had got sick. Yeah. And he lost a lot of weight, so he fought at like 212, 215. But he was way more agile. Whereas the 231, he wasn't used to being at that weight, and then carrying that weight.
A lot of people were saying
he couldn't.
It ain't that big of a difference. I'm like, bro, you can carry 5 pounds. If you're not used to running with that weight or like moving around with that weight, you're gonna get tired fast.
And it's crazy. I don't know if people. Any athlete know that. The only time it might not be as impactful is like if you play ball.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Throw on a 5-pound weighted vest. You ain't gonna move the same. Yeah. You're gonna move the same once you take it off.
Yeah, but it's.
But I mean,
I just don't. And then like, boxing, you have to use that's what people don't like about boxing. You have to use every inch of your body.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you play certain sports and you're like, oh, 5 pounds ain't that different. Where like when you play football, your weight fluctuate most of the season regardless anyway. And you kind of get adjusted. Plus you playing with pads on, so you're naturally used to playing with a little bit more weight over you. Yeah. Where it's like, as boxing, like, you use every inch of your body. And an extra 10 pounds, just carrying that, you're not used to it. And we got to remember, it was only a 3 month difference between Fury and his last fight. So that's a quick turnover. Yeah, and then to have that weight, there's no way he got in shape for that.
I don't agree with that.
At all. I mean, that's what I'm saying. When people say he got exposed, no. Who got exposed was his corner. After Ortiz.
During the fight, I was like, and one of the announcers said it, they was like, why isn't he, like, why aren't they working on his ear? Because, like, he was just leaking at one point. And I was like, it's hard for a corner. It's hard to know how good your corner is when they've never had to do anything.
Right.
It's real hard. Like,
that's important.
Like, you could be a coach and, like, you never be down. You be good. But as soon as you get down, you get exposed completely. Like, his corner didn't know what to do.
They was lost.
And that's kind of why they threw in the towel.
I think the second round, he had a cut on his lip. They didn't even touch it. They giving him water.
They didn't even touch his ear. That's why I was asking.
He came back to the next round. And I was
like, can they plug his ear? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, can they put like a cotton swab inside of his ear, just to stop the bleeding?
He leaking. They didn't even touch it. So he had blood all over the back of his back and his head.
Like it was. His
corner didn't touch it, and it was like, deep. And then the advice they gave him was just to keep pressuring him, and I'm like. Y'all need to, at this point, I don't know if they sabotaged him or they were trying to prove a point, because apparently I'm hearing Wilder was stubborn with the trainers, but that's what happens when you deal with people that's been yes men for years.
I can believe it.
I can believe it too. But it's like, this has to be a wake-up call. His trainers and his team got to put him in the gym and say, now it's time to start working on the fundamentals. But honestly, it's kind of late. He's 34. That should have been happening. He had no setups. All he did was walk backwards, throw a jab, and search for the right hand. I could see that coming. It was so telegraphed. He didn't throw. Honestly, he didn't throw any hooks. Didn't throw any uppercuts. Didn't throw any body shots.
But we're saying uppercuts and body shots is a lost art.
Yeah, he didn't box. He went out there and just tried to throw knockout blows.
Yeah. And what he does, and I hate it, and it works sometimes, but like in some fights he get exposed. He won't throw a punch, but he'll like he'll literally like drop his right hand back and like set up his wound up. And that's what I hated about it.
It's telegraphed. It's telegraphed.
It's completely telegraphed to the point where like he's exposing his whole right side. So, like he had his arm all the way back, whereas I was telling you and Lamar, I was like, Fury's gonna have to dance with the devil, because because if he sits back and try to box Wilder, he's a target for that right hand.
Yeah.
But if he moves in,
that's what Fury did.
Fury start throwing that weight on him. Yeah. Then he's just gonna have to live with getting hit in the body.
Let's give Fury credit. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. And one thing I mentioned from the first round, I kept saying, he's making Wilder fight going backwards. Wilder's not used to fighting like that. Because when you fight going backwards, that's not, you have to box then. Then at that moment you have to box.
Yeah.
It was like, if you're going backwards, then that's when your skills, your fundamentals, your footwork, your technique, that's when all of that stuff comes into play. And he just didn't have it, and Fury knew it. So he made Wilder fight going backwards the entire fight, but Wilder's used to being the attacker. Fury had a game plan and it worked. And Wilder nor his corner had any kind of answer for it.
I don't know if you've seen the last round of the last fight.
No, I didn't. I missed that fight.
I went back. Yo, Fury whooped his ass when he got up, bro. Like,
talking about that. It was like Fury felt like he figured something out in that last round of the last fight.
From that round to
that
little bullshit fight that Fury had in between, that he knocked out, or he won in like 9 rounds, and then this fight, bro, Fury's been on a mission, bro. But you gotta think, That was Fury. The first fight against Wilder was Fury's first fight in like 3 years. Mm-hmm. Remember, he had dropped all that weight to fight Wilder, and then so he's had like 3 camps in him to get back. So it's like he could move up 270 because it's not going to hurt.
He's used to being in that
weight. Plus, he's probably more agile than Wilder at 270 than Wilder is at 212.
See, at 212, I don't know about that, but at 230, yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, but you can never tell from the first fight. No. It's like, if you watch the first fight, you can't tell me that Wilder won that fight.
See, I didn't see the first fight. I saw the highlights, but I don't really.
He won 3 rounds.
The only
maybe?
thing people,
4 maybe, if that,
say is the count.
Nah, the ref started the count late, but the fact that he got up is ridiculous. It's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how the nigga was asleep the first 5 seconds.
No, since we on this fight, do you agree with the stoppage? Let me clarify this. The ref didn't stop the fight. Just so y'all know.
But the ref was going to, though.
I don't think
he had no choice.
I don't think he was. I think what he was going to do.
How much time left was in that round?
It was a good minute 20, minute 10. But as this one, I don't think the ref was going to stop the fight. Fury had him in the corner, and as Fury was backing up, Wilder caught him with a nice little.
No, I'm not saying that round. I'm saying later on, Wilder had to. Because at some point, Wilder just wasn't throwing anything. Forget fighting. Wilder was just.
I think Wilder was still in that realm of recovering. The recovering round.
Yeah,
so, you know, that takes about a good 2.5 rounds to really recover because I haven't heard any reports yet, but it's saying he busted his eardrums with a fucked up his equilibrium, and Wilder was off.
I think he had a concussion.
It could have been that too.
I think he had a concussion. Because I mean, I'm not saying it's illegal, but like that hit.
That was the bad. I think that was. It's
close. It was close because Wilder turned his head, so it's like it was close. But either way, getting hit in your ear or the back of the head, either way, that's gonna fuck you up regardless.
But people who complain about it, I'm like, the ref didn't stop the fight. To be clear, y'all didn't see it, but his corner threw the towel, which is why the ref stopped it. I don't think the ref was gonna stop it. I think he was going to time out it though. I think. I think he was going to hold on. Are you good? Can you and talk to Wilder real quick?
Yeah.
Because
he did that earlier round.
Usually give him about 2 warnings before they finally said, all right.
He said nah.
He talked to him. I think he was going to talk to Wilder again. Like, you got to show me something.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to call it. I think he was going to give him another chance, but his corner just.
That's what I'm saying. He may not have been that round. I think he would have eventually. The ref would have had no choice.
But I'm saying, but if I'm the corner, I give the ref a chance to do that. Because we know the ref's not. In this day and age, the refs are not going to let anybody.
That lets you go. That goes back to not knowing how good your corner is until you get some shit.
Yeah.
Whereas if that's like a Manny Pacquiao or like a Marquez, their corner would have been fine because it's like, all right, they're used to that. When you're not used to seeing your fighter who is the aggressor, not even be aggressive, let alone he didn't throw a punch.
He only threw 55 power punches. He wasn't throwing.
He didn't throw punches. Let alone he was just completely out of it. So like
footwork.
You're putting. I get what he's saying. Like let me be, but like after seeing
the fighter always gonna say that though.
After seeing a man die in the ring this year, I think the whole boxing federation is gonna be cautious. I'm not saying he died in the ring, but he went to the hospital. He got brain damage. So like the corner was like, okay, he's tired and he's just sitting there. And they're not used to it, so they're gonna overreact regardless. So I'll take that rather than you let him sit there and get his ass beat for another 3 minutes. Cause at some point it's like, okay, I get your pride is going to tell you, but like, bruh, if you go back, you wasn't throwing shit. But that's what his corner got to tell him, like.
That's why
I wasn't throwing nothing, bro. Like
I'm on the fence with the stoppage. That's why I'm on the fence with them throwing the towel. I felt like at that.
I think they overreacted. But I think
it was a little premature.
They had no choice.
I think it was premature. If it would have been done in the 8th round, 9th round, I'd like, all right. Like if he would have came back, I'm like, all right. This because I was watching it like I hope they don't stop it. I want to see if he kind of get back because he started to kind of throw back a little bit, but he was still trying to get his feet under him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but the next round,
he was just OD winded at the same time.
He was tired.
Yeah.
He was exhausted too, and that's another thing. Like, I mean, we said it like with the third round. I was looking at him, I'm like, oh,
but it was like the third or fourth round. Like the ref wasn't even paying attention to Fury. The ref had his eyes locked on Wilder on the ropes. Yeah. Like I was like, yo, and that's what me and Lamar was like, yo, I hope the ref don't stop it, but because the ref wasn't even paying attention to Fury at that point. Because Wilder was just.
But I think at the Wilder ref realized it was fatigue.
Yeah,
it was fatigue, but I don't know. It just
looked bad.
It was a weird fight to watch because like. I've watched a lot of Wilder's fights, and I've never seen him look like that. Even watching the highlights of him versus Fury the first time, I'm like,
but
it's just something.
It goes back to.
I really expect a report or something to come out.
He said something.
They're trying to say something was going on with his legs or something. Like they was trying to say like they insinuated toward at the end of the fight there was something else going on with him. But also that could be from a quick turn. He might not have been healthy. He just fought 3 months before that. That could have a turnover, and that's a championship fight. That's just
your body.
But that's coming to stubbornness. I know if he got the advice to be like, all right, like we need to reschedule this, push it further down the road because we're gonna a quick turnover. Wilder being who he is, he was going to be like no, because he been wanting him since that tie. That tie didn't sit right with him. I really feel like Wilder would have preferred to lose. As opposed to Ty. I know if as an athlete, I would. I hate ties in sports.
Yeah, I hate ties. Unless it's in FIFA, you need that extra. You need that point.
That's different. Points is different.
Points is different. Unless you need that point. I'll be like,
points is different in soccer. Like that tie actually could be a win in soccer.
Yeah, facts. But nah, I mean, it's like you said though. It's like his corner, he got to do some reevaluating on like how he wants to go forward as a boxer.
Yeah.
And his corner got to do some reevaluating because
it's either they reevaluate or he hires an entirely new corner.
The boxing world just got a blueprint on how it's not like you can't compare it to like when Tyson lost, because Tyson just had a whole bunch of demons going on with him. So Tyson.
That too, but also Tyson was one of them fighters I always say after you can get him past the 5th round, you can beat him.
Yeah. That's what a lot. That was known point. Yeah.
That was known though. But can you make it past the 5th round? The difference between I had somebody say like, oh, Wilder would have been great in the '90s era of boxing, and I was like, no, like we're trying to like.
He was too small.
He was like not even too small. People were saying like heavy hitters. He's power puncher. That's all he is. I'm like, no. We're discrediting. That was the golden era of boxing. Those boxers, they were power punchers, but they had a lot of technique. Man. Mike Tyson's footwork and technique is so underrated because of how hard he punched.
You go watch Tyson now, you be like, damn.
Oh, you go watch his. Oh, the way
he just be
great
like,
defender. Underrated.
He just be going on air, like when he be like doing this shit now. Like you be like, damn, Tyson's that high.
But. Say at least it was a disappointing fight to watch for me, being a Wilder fan. It was.
I can't say I didn't like it.
He don't like it.
You know, I loved it. I shouldn't say I loved it because.
Shout out to C too, because I know he was on the other side too.
Who?
C.
Oh, Chris.
Nah, Cyril.
Oh, he's
Cyril.
He don't feel it.
Yeah, I don't fuck with Wilder like that.
You don't?
Hey, I mean, same reason though.
Oh, yeah, but fucking. He was what? I got beef with C because he discredited Joshua, so I don't like that shit.
See?
I don't like that shit. So
that's cool. I don't disagree with that either.
I don't know how y'all discredit him, but okay. He lost the fight because he was literally the same way Wilder lost the fight, out of shape. But Joshua, that was a different story. He was living the American dream.
Different story, bro. Yeah. Trying to get no excuse.
Bro.
Say shit.
I can't even be mad at my boy. My boy touched every market. My boy went from the Breakfast Club to Miami the next morning to Cali the next week. Bro. I couldn't be mad.
You know?
As a black man, all them types of all that flavor he done saw, I can't be mad.
You know?
I'm just saying. Who you got in Joshua fight Fury? I already know.
I don't even really want to. It's crazy. I seen somebody. I don't want to see Joshua versus Fury.
I don't want to see none of them.
I don't want to see Wilder versus Joshua. And I really don't even want to see a Wilder Fury rematch.
It's over.
I don't want to see any three of them fight.
It's over. I was, as I posted, I was like,
maybe at the most, I would probably want to see Fury Joshua.
The fight we wanted is over. It's over for it. Like, the hype for that fight is done. It's done.
Yeah. Shout out to Black History Month. Just let y'all know, our history can't be celebrated in a month, so if you only celebrate it this month, do better, man.
Here you go. You got anything else for the people?
Do better, man. Shout out to Malcolm X, man. Watch the documentary on Netflix.
Shout out to Malcolm X.
Yeah.
For what? The nation killed him.
That's what they told you?
You know what Denzel said? It's crazy, though. I don't know if you want this on wax. You want to stop it or you want to keep going? Denzel said, Denzel was like, he was like, they kill our people, but they use us to do it.
Oh yeah.
Denzel was like, what's the boy name?
Elijah Muhammad.
He was working with the feds, and he said he ain't like the way Malcolm was moving, so he feel as though
a lot of people think that
he played the card, and then
the nation wasn't really too happy with Malcolm X at the time.
Man, once he went to Mecca, that shit changed everything.
But see, Elijah Muhammad claims he told people not to touch me, and some of his people was on. He watched the documentary. Some of his people on the documentary saying like we wanted to, but we got the order not to.
Some people, but you get some that was playing on the fence that was just like, fuck it.
Man. So, look, I ain't got much time really with this.
They use
shout out to MLK. The worst thing he did was integration. I'm gonna leave it at that, man.
Integration.
You
think that was the worst he did?
Yes,
the worst he did was cheat on his wife. But they don't tell y'all that in the history books. Alright, my fault.